Hi everyone. Today let's talk about First Republic Bank once again. Then we'll go over the earnings and economic calendars. Then we'll do a quick review of today's charts. Then we'll go over my results for the day and my thoughts going into Monday's session. Don't forget to check out the Patreon and the Twitter. If you like trading stocks and options and making money, definitely like and subscribe. I make videos like this every single day that the market is open as well as Sundays, so make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Welcome to the Portfolio Bulletin. Let's get started. So starting off with First Republic Bank, it seems like the consensus at this point is that the FDIC is going to take over the bank within the next week or so. They say that hopes have diminished for First Republic Bank. The stock continues to slide and was halted multiple times for volatility. It's all the way down to $2. It's been collapsing here. We talked about it being at $6, dropped 40% again here. So this stock continues to fall through the floor. They do mention that the FDIC is asking for potential bids to take over the bank, which generally does not include receivership from the FDIC, but that definitely means that they are on the cutting block, and if they don't find a buyer soon, that they will be put into receivership by the FDIC. Moving over to the economic calendar, PCE data came in pretty decent. Core PCE month over month came in at expectations, year over year slightly higher than expectations. Put this out on my Twitter, so definitely check that out. If you want updates sooner after these data releases, looking at the year-over-year numbers, pretty significant step down on the headline, 4.2 compared to 5.1. You like to see it. Month over month, 0.1 versus 0.3 expectation, also very good. Personal income, slightly higher than expectations. And then moving over here to 5-year inflation expectations, 3% versus 2.9%, so small step up here on inflation expectations. Overall, not terrible. Moving over to the charts, starting with the S&Ps on the hour and the 12-hour, you can see we continued the rally. The SPY did look a little bit better here today. You can see we broke that 1469 level. Next level is up here at 41812. That's what I'm watching for my next level of potential resistance. We wicked the highs going back to April 18th. And at this point, you have to expect that this is probably going to rally at least until the FOMC meeting. Momentum on the 12-hour as well as RSI both say we're going higher. Hourly, though, is showing some signs of divergence, but that's just because we are so overbought here. Overall, still bullish. Moving over to the Qs here, it actually took a while to take out the highs from yesterday's aftermarket. We came in and dipped, and I thought we might just consolidate here into the close, but then we ended up taking out that high and then rallying about another 75 cents here into the close. So again, new higher high, looks fairly strong, momentum is decent. Same on the 12-hour, very bullish momentum. Next level of upper resistance is around 325.75 or so. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow here on the 4-hour, you can see the Russell made a much higher high, very strong on the day. Hit that 144 EMA on the 4-hour chart and got rejected there. That's currently at 175.52, and now we're selling off here a little bit after hours, which is interesting. Lower level is 174.38, upper level 175.96. We do take out that level, watching 177.33. Moving over to the Dow here, very strong on the day, finished right at the highs, right at these wicks, going back to mid-April. If we take out these wicks, pretty much right where we are, I'll be watching for a 343.23, which is absolutely within striking range for Monday. So overall, both bullish, maybe a short-term pullback here on the Russell, looking for that retest of 174.38. Moving over to Apple and Tesla, Apple continued to rally, made a higher high, looking at 170.90 as my next resistance. Got above this level and held, so 170.90. Moving over to Tesla, another bullish day, wicked some levels here before rallying, looking at the 9 EMA at 166.05. Momentum starting to build towards the bullish side, definitely interesting. Still very much a downtrend on the daily chart. Noticing that on RSI, we're hitting that SMA. That's certainly an area where you could reject. Maybe this throws a wick to the 9 EMA and that 167.34 level, and then we get a bigger rejection. If we do get that move, then you look for maybe a double bottom or a higher low setup. If we do get that, then Tesla might actually be a buy, looking back up to around 177.70 or so. Moving over to Microsoft and NVDA, Microsoft continues to rally super aggressively. Probably the best company in the world at this point. Next level, 315, that's the highs going back to the end of March of last year. If we take out that level, 330 is the next one, basically in the middle of this previous consolidation. And then the next level above that is just around those all-time highs going back to the end of December. So overall, super bullish, continuing to rally, about to hit overbought conditions on the weekly chart, and we'll see what happens after that. NVIDIA, on the other hand, still trapped between these two levels. Talked about it yesterday. Did rally here, looking to retest that level, 280.04. If we get above that level, maybe we start to make some new highs. Certainly possible, but right now we're still consolidating. Moving over to staples and discretionary. Staples finally hit my price target. We took out this high going back to the end of December from 22. Now we're going to see what happens. So if we take out this level, certainly could go higher, but definitely watching this area as a level for potential rejection. Overall, not a bad move here, and I think this might be the end of it here. Otherwise, looking at discretionary, what a move, right? So we talked about this yesterday on the Amazon earnings being up way above the supply zone. We ended up gapping down massively, testing support once again. We're right back into the middle of the supply zone. At this point, I'm pretty much neutral on discretionary. We got the whipsaw where we broke down, faked out, broke high, broke down, and like I said, basically neutral here, waiting for some clear direction on discretionary. Moving over to transports, what a finish here. So we ended up getting two very bullish days, hitting the 55 EMA on the 12-hour chart. Held these levels on the weekly chart, definitely interesting. Now you have kind of a double bottom type setup where you tested this previous low with these wicks and then rallied pretty aggressively. Not super aggressively, we're still in this mid-range here. But again, similar to discretionary, you're basically consolidating at this point. Still looks like a left shoulder head, right shoulder on the weekly chart. And maybe we're just kind of testing the waters to the downside, getting that initial rejection. And then if we come down into this zone one more time, then we're going to move all the way down to 207.38. Overall, pretty much indecision here on transports. Moving over to the dollar here on the 4-hour and the daily, you can see we got a huge move up in the pre-market overnight, and then we rejected that all the way down here back into this previous zone, and now we're right at resistance. So maybe this is that first push, initial rejection, higher low setup, rally through. That would be interesting. But again, we talked about it last time. This might just be holding until the FOMC meeting, getting ready for the move that'll take place after we officially get the 25 basis points. Finishing up with the charts here, looking at the VIX and the VVIX. Basically, we fell off a cliff. So we talked about downward momentum yesterday, and we continued lower here, taking out all of these lows, getting down to this potential support level. We've been watching this downtrend line for a long time. If we get here, then I'll be watching for that interaction. But right now, still looks like we're going lower. VVIX, on the other hand, pretty much held in this level, which is interesting. So VVIX holding up while the VIX is falling. See if that plays out. Momentum moving slightly bullish. RSI starting to bottom a little bit here. Definitely interesting to keep an eye on this one. But overall, VIX going lower and equities going higher. Moving over to my accounts here, it says I made 400, but I think I ended up actually making right around 300 on the day. Otherwise, still good. I ended up picking a position here on the IWM at 174 for Monday. See how that plays out. I also have a put spread here on the Qs for my IRA position. The Qs looked quite strong going into the close, and I wanted to take advantage of that. But I don't have enough capital here to continue to trade the NASDAQ at this price, at least with naked puts. So I'll start doing it with credit spreads, at least in the short term. And then looking at my individual account, you can see all these puts I sold throughout the day. Markets held up quite well. I did sell some 324 calls yesterday, which are going to be fine. Those will expire worthless. 324 calls for Monday, however, those might be in a tougher spot. We'll see how that plays out. Markets open flat or down slightly on Monday, I'll be all right. Otherwise, I'll continue to play defense with puts to the upside. These 317s, 319s expired here today. Those were max profit. For Monday, I have some 317s, some 319s, and then I have a 320 put in my IRA and then two 320s here in my individual position. So tons of puts sitting just below current prices as we continue to look quite bullish going into the Monday session. Let me know down in the comments section what you think of First Republic Bank or all of the price action for this week. Ended up being quite bullish, very interesting there. And make sure you like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Obviously, we have the Sunday episode coming out where we go very deep into lots of different charts. So make sure you catch that episode and make sure you check out the Twitter and the Patreon. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.